Bam, we're live. Good morning, Matt Schindeldecker. What's up? Good morning. Make it a great day, but more importantly, make yourself great today. Great line. Love it. Good to see you guys. Greg Glassman's coming on today. How's my volume? Good. See if we can get the phone lines up. I was watching Jimmy Kimmel's monologue this morning. It was a 19-minute monologue where he's asking all Republicans to listen to it. And, you know, of course, before I start listening to it, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is the guy that was pushing the vaccine and villainizing people who wouldn't take government mandated drugs, which he ended up being 100% wrong about. I wonder if this guy listens to himself. Boy, he sounds no different than Kamala. I made it about 8 minutes through, and then I was like, oh shit, it's getting late. I better get to the computer. But man, what a mess. What a fucking mess. Jimmy Kimmel sounds no different than Kamala Harris. It's funny the stuff he pushes back on. They do this thing where they want to make you I guess the term they call it's gaslighting. But he opens with if you're the kind of person who thinks that the government is involved in weather modification, then I'm probably not going to be able to convince you of anything or talk to you, and it's not even worth listening to my monologue. It's a monologue for Republicans. But I haven't done this yet, but I'm just going to go and we all know there's been weather modification, efforts. Fucking who knows? I think the first article I saw was in the New York Times, dated back to the 1970s. But I'm just going to put in government weather modification. U.S. government, and this is what Google says. The U.S. government does not currently fund or participate in weather modification projects, but some information about weather modification is available below. Required companies to report to NOAA at least 10 days before engaging in weather modification activities. So the first thing is that the government doesn't do it, and then the next thing is that if you're going to do it, you have to notify the government. Oh, and then it says fact checking. Oh, it's all about the hurricanes. Yeah, crazy. Let me see. Fact checking, debunking weather modification. I wonder what maybe if it's it's just terms. Oh, the most common form, and then you go straight to Wikipedia. The most common form of weather modification is cloud seeding. So there is weather modification, and it's right here. It's been going on since the 19th century. (1954), Thailand had a big project. I know that I've pulled it up on here before. Oh, cloud seeding is a common technique to enhance precipitation. So there it is. Right away, you can find it. It is used in a variety of drought-prone countries, including the United States, China, India, Russia, and China. So the first thing he opens with is that there's no manipulation. Oh, the project was run by the United States government from 1962 to 1983. Wow. And they even did a project in 2007 on how to stop a hurricane. It's just crazy that right off the bat, that's what he tries to gaslight people into thinking that shit doesn't happen. And you can just do a quick Google search and see how it's common practice. I was watching Jimmy Kimmel's Up this morning. He did a 19-minute monologue, and he says, "Please, all Trump supporters see this." And it's just gaslighting. It's just fucking crazy. He's absolutely batshit crazy. It basically saying if you believe anything that comes from the right, you're crazy. And he goes after weather modification. He goes after hormone therapies for children. He says that shit doesn't happen. Just all sorts of wild shit he's saying. And it's like, and I don't know anyone who's involved in cloud seeding projects, but I definitely know a few people who've had their kid approached for offerings of hormone therapies. And now we know in the state of California, for kids over the age of 12, you don't have full access to their health file, to whatever we use as parents, their health records. You know, one of our friends who's a pretty hardcore liberal, who was vaccine injured, Greg, who has a bunch of kids. The last time we were at their house, the mother approached me and was like, "Oh shit." And I go, "What?" And they go, "I got the letter today from the state saying I no longer have access to my kids' medical records because their kid turned 12." And she said, "I can't even access," and she said, "And I checked and I can't even access my kids' full medical records without my kids' consent."
It takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
You know, there was some debate as to what she meant, even for those that suffered through that fucking thing. But
Well, it sounds good, right?
To the right, it was always obvious what it meant. It meant the state raising your children.
Yeah,
you're surprised. Raise your hand if you're surprised.
Well, to me,
we're living through what William F. Buckley warned us about in the 70s and 80s, and George Orwell before that. And what surprises me is that it even comes in this Orwellian doublespeak kind of gender affirming healthcare is chopping off your penis. I mean,
right.
Amazing.
Right.
Amazing. A brilliant construction. A brilliant construction. That it works is why it's brilliant. Like, you think there's no way. You can't even make that up without laughing, I would presume.
I mean, I'm guilty, man.
And then someone said, no, that's how you do it. That's what you do. You call it gender affirming healthcare. People go, it's not. We're just chopping off the dick. And they go, no, try it. It works. I swear to God. I think, and it does.
And giving them, even if you don't want to take it that far, giving them hormone therapies with irreversible consequences.
Removing the parents' oversight of the kids' health care is it's bizarre.
I had Dale was on here yesterday. He's feeling pretty confident that Trump's going to win. I go back and forth. After I got off with him, I was pretty excited. And then I went and watched some video clips, and I wasn't so excited. It's going to be crazy. Hey, there's going to be crazy riots if Trump wins, right? I'm almost more excited for those crazy riots.
I have no idea, man. I don't even know how to tell. What video clips do you watch? Who do you listen to? Where do you get the information to figure out whether the percentage of the population is dumber than rocks is 47 or 53%?
Right.
Like, what if it's 50%? We're at the tipping point.
One of the things Kimmel was ass pounding Trump about was the fact that, hey, no other president has sold things like shoes and Bitcoin. And I'm thinking to myself, when he's saying that, I'm like, yeah, but the current sitting president sold access to China.
Kimmel thinks, and I didn't watch it, but he could sit down for an hour and make a list of his grievances.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, you'd find no discussion or mention of the border and whether its openness was done to change the demographic of the electorate.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find no mention of the inflation of the currency, which has had a horrific impact on the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find any mention of the Middle East and frankly, our standing in the world, both with our allies and with our enemies. And he's not going to have a discussion as to whether our enemies have been emboldened by an apparent weakness in the presidency. I think that's an important issue.
Maybe
None of that
the most
stuff.
important issue.
And I could go on like this for too long, but what you'll notice is that if it gets framed in important issues, Trump's the guy. But does Kimmel give a fuck about the folks that don't eat steak anymore but do everything with ground beef? Back to the hamburger helper days of a generation before?
No.
Of course he fucking doesn't care. It's hard for me to care. I do, though.
Eating beaver. I couldn't imagine life without morning wood. Okay, good.
Me neither, actually.
That's good. That's healthy. It's a important vital sign. Kimmel wants you to eat bugs.
Hey, he's no Adam Carolla.
No. Craig Richards, I love the story and outrage that Elon was an alleged illegal worker, yet you'll be left 10+ million and that cost taxpayers 150 billion per year. Come on now. I'm not sure I follow that. Was he working here in the United States without a visa?
I have a billionaire friend who came here and came here illegally and was soldering circuit boards in a car wash. And then the dude that ran the car wash threatened to turn him into immigration. And in the meantime, he designed a compiler and put it in Byte magazine and was selling thousands of them a day for $39 and went right to an immigration lawyer. And the guy that owned the car wash got arrested and he got citizenship, like fast tracked.
What country was he from? I didn't know he was a foreigner.
Yeah, from France.
Oh, no shit. Did he have a French accent?
He did, dude. The guy's fluent and he speaks everything. And you talk to people that really speak the language, they go, he's really good, man. It's, barely an accent. So French, Spanish, German. No problem with languages.
Here's something you're not going to see in the mainstream media. This is yesterday. A Chicago man walking to a synagogue in a known Orthodox Jewish neighborhood was shot over the weekend by a suspect who then fired at responding officers and paramedics. The attack targeting the 39-year-old male victim unfolded Saturday in Chicago's West Rogers Park neighborhood. Police said that the suspect, identified as Sadi Mohammed Abdalhi, 22, was identified less than 30 minutes after the shooting, at which point he allegedly shot at responders before the police returned fire, striking the offender. Abdali was placed into custody, transported to an area hospital, and subsequently charged accordingly. I want to say that. I'm concerned about a terrorist attack. Yeah, I'm concerned. I think I read another article somewhere where he yelled Allah Akbar after he shot him. The statement that was made while he was engaging our officers is nothing that we could bring in as evidence at this point that would support any motives against his actions towards our officers or towards our victims, the other official said, adding, "We're going to be able to put out the information right now because I want to make sure I'm not misstating anything." Oh, we are going to be able to put out. That doesn't make sense. It's wild. Imagine if a black guy had been shot by a Proud Boy. It would be all over the every station in the fucking country would be covering it. A Jew gets shot walking to a synagogue by a guy who yells Allah Akbar and fucking buried. Hey, Bhattacharya won an award. Did you see that?
No. What kind of award?
I'll pull it up here. He said when he was on the show, he said he was going to D.C. I didn't realize it was to get this award. Scientists who battle for COVID common sense over media and government censors wins top award. Bhattacharya has been awarded the Robert J. Zimmer Medal for Intellectual Freedom by the American Academy of Sciences and Letters.
That's interesting. Good.
Yeah, right?
Good.
Bhattacharya has spent years vilified by the media over his dissenting views on the pandemic. As one of the signatories of the 2020 Great Barrington Declaration, he was canceled, censored, and even received death threats. Cool, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You think he'd be a good? You think he's would be a good director of the CDC? The
For sure. I mean, come on.
PhD
Yeah,
in economics.
I have a bias in that he's a friend. Okay, so
Right.
I'd make a good one too.
Right.
But I want to make clear that I think it needs to be re-architected entirely.
The CDC.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Well, I mean, look, it got diabetes so fucking wrong and continues to. It's unreal. It cannot speak truth to power. Hunt through the CDC to find the truth about sugar. I point to where the CDC tells you that if you have diabetes, you need to avoid confectionery, and like that's going to say anything but sugar. And then it's got a big inset, and it's like diabetes myth number 1 that sugar causes diabetes. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to use this. I'm trying to use this material, this source, to like see if you got diabetes. You can, oh damn, look at this. I can't use it. It's unbelievable. I got that. You know who flung that back at me when I was saying, look, even the CDC recognizes on some level that you can't, that sugar's bad. He pulls up in the same article, the inset. This is Axel Pfluger, Dr. Pfluger. And I'm son of a bitch. It's that bad. So anyways, they get that wrong continuously. Statins, dead wrong. Cholesterol, dead wrong. Heart disease, or the whole chronic disease thing. They're nowhere near effective on it, not even in the messaging. And so that's reason enough right there, right? The number 1 killer. Wow, look at that.
It's fine. It's actually going to go up. It's going to go up.
There it is.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
So they got that wrong then. And see, I always presumed, well, look, they got everything related to chronic disease wrong. Obesity, exercise, all of it completely fucking wrong. Diet, completely fucking wrong. And I said, but you must need them for infectious disease, right? Like the Ebola and shit. No one wants that. And then lo and behold, this fucking virus comes around of little consequence to anyone except those that are in this chronic condition that they can't admit to. And it has the exact effect you'd expect it to there, especially when people do things as stupid as Cuomo did and take people out of the hospital and stick them in nursing homes. I mean, that was insane by any kind of standard of healthcare or public health. And
he brought that up on the show, by the way. He said that was absolutely batshit crazy.
It was batshit crazy. It's like Hunter throwing his gun in the dumpster across the street from the high school. Right. I think it was his gala did that, to be fair, but I don't know. It's inconceivably stupid. Kind of like the pullout from Afghanistan.
Did they ever find that gun?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Someone did. That's what. Yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't know about it.
You know, Dale focuses on that as as a pivotal point in the manifestation of the complete incompetency and collapse of the United States as a coherent, capable,
Buddy, I could set up a scenario with army men and tanks and planes and shit on the table with Rhett and Riley, and have little figurines that are civilians that are important to you, and like ask, like, in what order would you extract things? Would you remove your force first and then try and
right? Pat Lang, the Chicago story is on CNN website. You're right. I apologize for that. But that being said, in my defense, it was published this morning, and I grabbed that other article last night, but it was published at 5:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time this morning. So it was just published, a couple hours ago. But here it is. CNN talks about it. I haven't read the CNN version. Some Jewish leaders have called for hate crime charges in the case amid a tripling of anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. in the year following Hamas. Abdali said Allah Akbar during his encounter with police. Authorities told CNN on Tuesday. However, the intention and context of the comment were unclear.
That's good. No, he.
Oh my God.
They had it wrong. He was yelling Aloha snack bar.
The victim is doing okay and in good spirits. I mean, you could say that after anything anyone says. The statement that was made while he was engaging our officers is nothing that we could bring in as evidence at this point that would support any motives against his actions towards our officers as well as towards our victim.
Yeah.
I thought it said everything can and will be used against you. Thank you, Pat, for the real-time fact check. Where does RFK Jr. lose the plot? I think in regards to just healthcare, state of the nation health. Like, where do you think that he has it wrong? Well, you know what was interesting? Someone asked him. They're like, "Hey, RFK." Someone asked him the other day, "Hey, how do you deal with Trump? You want a healthy country. Where are you with Trump eating at McDonald's?" And his response was, "Hey, I don't have a problem with McDonald's. I have a problem with what they cook with. They used to cook with tallow, and now they don't."
Oh, that's nice. See, that's all right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty swift. Get make McDonald's great again. Get them back on the tallow.
You know the warnings at the gas tank about cancer.
Yeah, these fumes are known to cause.
You can't put gas in your car without seeing that. Well, that shit ought to be on the windows at the candy store, in the ice cream shop.
Right.
About obesity, heart disease, the warning labels that we pushed for before.
You mean if you're going to have continuity?
Yeah, and this is where we came to understand that the only time you see warning labels is like typically when it's obvious, like your electrical panel, the ladder. Like you didn't know you couldn't fall off of it, you know?
Like on the top step, it shows the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a solar powered, too much solar power in that house in San Diego, and in the garage was the hardware for it. What do you call it? The inverters or whatever the hell. And it hummed so loud, it was kind of a trip, right? I mean, just everything about it was scary. I mean, big knife switches. And it had painted this image all over the guy getting electrocuted. And the guy just didn't seem to need it for me.
Don't touch the third rail.
Oh, yeah. Remember, don't touch the wires?
I got a bunch of little things I wanted to show you today. Since we brought up RFK, I'm going to play this clip. This is in regards to Trump's transition team. Have you seen this clip yet?
Maybe.
Talked to Donald Trump specifically about this, and he said to me, I said, look, the last time you were in there, you put John Bolton in charge of NSA and Mike Pompeo in charge of the CIA and the State Department, and you put an oil guy, in charge of Department of Interior, a coal guy in charge of EPA, and a telecom lobbyist in charge of of FCC and pharma lobbyists as head of HHS and FDA, Scott Gottlieb, and he said, here's the difference. He said, when I got in last time, I had no idea how to govern, and I got surrounded by donors and corporate people who said, you appoint this guy and appoint that guy. And he said, I appointed a lot of bad people. Now, I was listening this morning to this extraordinary interview that Donald Trump did with Joe Rogan yesterday. And he said during that interview, he talked specifically about John Bolton. He said, a donor got me to appoint him. And he said, he's a great guy. He turned out, and this is what he said. He said, he's a really bad guy. And he said, this time, I'm not going to do that. He told us that. And what he did, he didn't just promise that, but he did something no other president's done before. Normally, the transition team is not created until November 6th because GAO, the General Accounting Order Office, pays for all the costs of the transition team. Trump said, I'm not going to do it this time. I'm not going to do it their way. I'm going to start my own transition team 3 months early. And he got private donors. He got private donors to fund it. And he's appointed 20 people, including me and Tulsi. And, there's people of all different kinds of ideology and people who we're going to have to go up against, on that transition team and fight for our vision. But I can tell you this, which is unique. There are no corporate lobbyists on that campaign, on that transition team. And usually it's 100% corporate lobbyists. Oh, it's very, very different. And it gives me lots of hope that this government is going to be different than any government we've ever seen.
So it sounds like there's Trump mentioned something about needing to appoint 10,000 people. The president basically appoints 10,000 people when he goes into office, not directly, but he appoints these people and then they start appointing people for all these jobs. And I guess the transition team is the one that helps appoint those people, right? And so he's assembled this transition team with 0 corporate lobbyists.
Yeah, I just heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. You like that?
Yeah, of course I do. I mean, look, what Trump got blindsided by the deep state was after him hard. And so we had to endure the collusion and impeachments and all that FISA bullshit. And then what came after him? Who knew? I didn't even know there was a deep health. I was in the space. I knew it was corrupt. I knew they had it wrong. I knew the influence was immense, but I didn't know that. And I remember that as the COVID thing was going down, remember tripping publicly and privately with you, even, and Dave, about how weird it was that this thing was breaking left and right. That the liberals were fucking all about wanting to put masks on and stay home and shit. Close the gyms.
Let all the teachers get off work for a year.
And it was where you found any caution at all, it was from conservatives. In Jackson Hole, Wyoming, everyone wore masks. You got outside of Jackson Hole and people didn't wear masks. Everywhere in the state, drive all around it. Every little place. We were just in California. And like, whoa, masks. You see a bunch of masks. And I'm laughing like, gee whiz. Come back to Arizona, there's no masks.
I'm
gonna be a liberal for Halloween. I just have to practice my terrified look, but I'm gonna get the mask.
Mm-hmm.
and I should probably make my hair some kind of weird color. I need a BLM sticker and a Harris hat.
And a mask that says Kamala across the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember during COVID, we were complete lockdown in California, all the masks, and Texas was having the largest indoor boxing event in the history of the sport of boxing. They had like 70,000 people in a stadium. It was like a Manny Pacquiao fight or something. I was like, wow, what the fuck is going on?
The national media was holding DeSantis up to ridicule for not closing the beaches. Dude, when it comes time to round up people, ABC, MSNBC, CNN, they're going to be leading the cheering section as the rail cars are loaded up. They'll have been clamoring for it.
Barry McCogner, why is Greg drinking that sugar-filled iced tea? I've
What's it say?
no sugar.
Okay.
I have seen Greg drink 1,000 iced teas and never once put sugar in it. What was this? Kamala's transition team focused on chopping off dicks. There was something in here. Oh, Judy Reed. Trump admitted on Rogan to his mistakes. A lot of them were because he wasn't a career politician. Dems would never admit to making mistakes. Tomorrow I'm flying to Arizona to watch Trump and RFK Jr. at Tucker Carlson event. I'm super excited. Are you were invited to that, right?
I was indeed. And I'd rather trick or treat. And I like them. You know, I mean, I would have done something at my house here before I'd go see them. And I wouldn't, like, there's people that would just love the opportunity to shake their hand and say hi and sit for a minute. I've had that opportunity, and I would rather go trick or treating with my kids, which is something they want me to do, you know?
Lots of masks in Hawaii. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
But that's all. I'm rooting for Trump. I've already voted for him, and I consider Bobby a friend.
Greg, I don't remember everyone having an opinion or expressing their opinion who they're going to vote for ever in my life, especially when I was a kid. But now you're getting, football players are being interviewed and they're lifting up their shirt and saying, "Make America Great Again," written on their chest. We're seeing people, it seems to be a lot of Trump stuff. You're seeing people just publicly speak out, like Jimmy Kimmel. Like, did you ever hear Johnny Carson take a side for who to be president? Or Walter Cronkite? Or I don't remember any of that. I don't ever remember it being like this. And I'm not opposed to it. It's just I can't tell if the culture has changed or if we're that divided. Or both. Or neither. Do you ever remember it being like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? McGovern versus Nixon.
The country was this vocal about who they were voting for.
Well, you could almost just tell by looking.
Well, and you can still tell by looking.
It's a similar time, I think.
I was talking,
but I think that, I mean, look, what were the issues then? It was the free speech movement, the anti-war thing for sure, right? And I think we have the free speech issue now, but it's the rights pushing for free speech, not the left. I don't want my elementary school kids learning how to give blowjobs from a book, and that makes me a book banner.
right.
And which is exactly what those who will ban books will do.
And you can still get the book at Barnes and Noble or Amazon. You just don't want it sitting on the shelf at your library at your elementary school.
You know, it's I could make you a list of books, and you could tell me which ones that's more important than. So it's replace something. Imagine what that is.
Right.
How to build a birdhouse.
Right.
No one wants to build a birdhouse. What you need to do is how to give a good handy, you know?
Right. Right.
It's so this cultural divide is profound. And you add to that the pressures of the currency. Add to that the border issues.
Here's what I think. You tell me how wrong I am.
But I say Trump wins by healthy margin.
Okay. I think 90% of Democrats agree with the Republicans. I just think that they're ignorant and in denial to the state of the country. That they're more concerned with jokes about the per capita trash production in Puerto Rico and being politically correct on how you word it. Puerto Rico being the per capita the largest creator of trash in the nation, versus they're in denial that kids are actually receiving hormone therapy, or that penises are being chopped off, or they think it's an isolated incident that a prisoner in the California prison system, male, was put into the female system, raped a handful of women and got them pregnant. I think they're just in fucking denial of all that. I don't think that they really want that. I think if you corner them and pin them down, they roll their eyes and they're like, no, that doesn't fucking happen. I don't think that those people, maybe I'm in just denial of how crazy those people are. I don't think they want that. I think the singular issue that they're fucking getting their head fucked up on right now, and I got a theory on it, is abortion. I think that they're so fucking hell-bent on making sure that women have the right to stop pregnancy before the baby's out.
Do you know there was a facility busted in the Bay Area that was run by Chinese nationals that had lab equipment, mice, and active strains of Ebola and other.
I remember seeing that. They busted the lab and it was just full of all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Tuberculosis, and I mean,
that shit was crazy.
And there was some comment about some people think that we're leading up to a confrontation. And for me, when you open a bioweapons lab in our country, in the Bay Area, the war has started.
Mm. It was a Chinese guy too.
Yeah, Chinese guys, Chinese nationals running a bioweapons lab.
Sevon, you're in denial. Just talked about how they acted during COVID. These people are clowns. Fuck, great comeback. I just think that they're so easily manipulated by fear. Everything is if you don't do this, if you don't recycle your cans, you're going to die. If you don't take the shot, you're going to die. If you, everything has this, they just back everything up with fear.
The desire to be in the in crowd, to think in a way that you think looks cool, perverts reason until you reach a certain age, and slowly, if you're normal, learn to not give a fuck about what people think, who you are, other than in some real sense of character. You remember how important it was to fit in elementary school?
Yeah.
The pressure, the stress.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be the kid that was picked on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a kid that everyone liked and was probably a good athlete. I mean, Crumb writes of that brilliantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember his depictions of him in school, and that guy Crutch or whatever his name was, the big football player, would beat him up, and all the girls liked him, and he was mean to the girls, and so they loved him. Remember that
Yeah.
shit? That the insanity of middle school. The left's still there. They're all there. It's a failed intellectual development. Issue by issue by issue. Yeah, but rent control creates slums. Nah, not going to hear it. Not going to hear that. It's a bunch of bullshit nostrums, and every problem they address gets worse. Let me say that again. Every problem they're allowed to address, to implement anything towards. Look at the Inflation Reduction Act. They're fucking hilarious. I don't know if they know that they've inflated the currency or not. I can't tell by listening to Joe. I mean, he made that shrinkflation commercial for Super Bowl, right? And she's still talking about greed is the source of the price increases. You can't have your brain working and not realize that, I like that meme, Seb, that was the your vote isn't like a Valentine where you're confessing your love for someone.
Yeah.
It's more like a chess move for how you'd like the future to come out.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. It's like a grown-up came into the room. I'm realizing too that a lot of my not liking Trump was just the way I don't like New York dudes.
Mm.
The loudmouth bragging, usually fat, chest hair out, shirt unbuttoned, big gold chain, won't shut the fuck up. Everything's best in New York, right?
Trying to sell you something.
Yeah. And my thought of us on the West Coast was, board shorts and whatever, the surf crowd or whatever the deal is.
Right.
There's an East-West divide that makes him kind of, I think, naturally insufferable. And what's happened is you get used to it.
Yep.
And
You
so
almost
now I'm able to laugh,
you find it
laugh
funny.
at him. When he talks, he makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I think he's funny. And his, the best wall, we had the best wall that ever was. They said, oh my gosh, what a beautiful wall. And they took it down, it's fun. He's fun. He may not be bright, but I think he's become savvy.
I agree.
Look what they did to him. I heard Eric Trump running through the litany of assails, insults, being shot at. I mean, it's like the fucker's been through a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. And I like him for that. He's been convicted of 34 felonies. And it's not even of the rip the furniture off, the tag off the furniture kind of bullshit. It's like, it's so bad. It's so fucking bad.
Caller.
Morning, gentlemen.
What's that?
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hey, this is Dan Lynn. Good to talk to you again. I was wondering if you guys have ever read or listened to RFK Jr.'s book, The Real Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just went through that. It was
It gets your blood boiling.
yeah, it was unreal. Greg said on this show many times that I'm paraphrasing Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, but Greg has said many times that, hey, if that book was not true, they would have sued him.
No, I said if 0.1% of it were false, he'd be sued into oblivion. Every page has shit, if true, horrific, if not easy litigation. And it was written by hundreds of lawyers. And I've said this before on the show that I'm a third of the way in, and I started rechecking my I knew RFK Jr. from other interaction and hadn't really paid attention to his prosecutorial background. But that thing reads like a grand jury indictment of Fauci. That's what it reads like. And then when you learn that there's like 100 lawyers put it together, and it's an amazing work. But excuse me, T went down the wrong hole. I will confess I didn't finish the book. And why do you think that is?
Well, it was the same thing
Too
over.
stressful?
Yeah,
I'm halfway in. Let's take
I
my
got
book.
it. It's perfectly corrupt. I don't need to hear about, the minor offenses. Like, Hitler was a bad neighbor. You know what I mean? Like, it couldn't be worse, and it's just more of the same. And I get it. The fix is in. The whole public health thing is fraud. Got it.
Yeah, if they don't clean that up, it doesn't matter who they get in as the head of the CDC, because it's like they're going to torpedo anything that doesn't lead to another patentable drug being the solution.
Find the clip of what was the zombie series that we all liked?
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead?
Yeah, they blow up the CDC in that. And it's all CGI'd cool. Remember the CDC's the bad guys?
Yeah.
In The Walking Dead, and they blow it up? I wonder if you can still find that footage.
Did you watch that whole series?
No.
Yeah, me neither. It was too stressful for me.
I thought it was all about diabetics or the homeless.
Oh. I see that.
Yeah.
If I can go on one little tangent about it, I actually made a comment on the BSI video that what's the guy's name? Seaford did.
Yes.
It wasn't the claim of heliocentrism that got Galileo in trouble. It was Galileo telling people, well, now that we know this is how you should read your Bible when it talks about these things. And that's what got him in trouble. And he actually wrote a novel about it, and he put the words of the Pope in the mouth of the village idiot. That's what got him in trouble, not his stance on heliocentrism.
Oh, that's a nice distinction.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, nothing would surprise you, like he was fucking the Pope's daughter or something. But I do appreciate this. I understand that what brought him to his senses, and there was a certain degree of recanting, right? He was shown someone on the rack, and he had to rethink his astronomy after seeing that, which I would.
My graduate study.
Grab Sebi and stretched him out until his intestines fell out. I would change my ideas on probability theory.
Thank you. Caller, say that again.
I said part of my graduate studies had to do with the interaction between science and religion, and you see a lot of that. What he was asked to recant again was not his cosmology. The problem, like I said, remember he was doing his work in the middle of like the Protestant Reformation, so the Catholic Church was kind of hypersensitive to anybody out there trying to tell people, oh, the church is wrong about something. But it wasn't the astronomy part that they were concerned he was telling them they were wrong about. It's what that meant when it came to reading the Bible. And they didn't appreciate anybody who wasn't the head of the church telling people how to read their Bibles, or how to understand the Bible. Nobody was reading it at the time, but how they were understanding passages in the Bible.
What do you remember exactly what the interpretation he wanted changed was? Oh, here it is. Galileo argued Galileo argued that the Bible should be interpreted in light of scientific observation, but this view is not widely accepted by the church. It doesn't say specifically what. Right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's basically I think what they call it is phenomenological language, which we still use to this day. I mean, even NASA on their website will tell you what time sunrise and sunset is, even though they know, technically speaking, the sun is not rising or setting. It's how we're describing what we're seeing.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Well, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Nice distinction.
Bye.
Burnt Lumber, 1999. All right. Thank you. Campbell's Soup can phone. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Hey, does my audio sound okay to you? I keep hearing crackling. It's got to be my headset.
It sounds good to me. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
I'm still on the on my air.
I had this problem yesterday too. There's a video going around, and it's a psychiatrist speaking about this phenomenon. I guess in the happiness survey, there's been a shift. The happiest people are conservative women, then conservative men, and it used to be then liberal women, and then liberal men were the least happy, and now liberal women have now taken the first place position for least happiest, and it was 6 out of 10 liberal women have been diagnosed with a mental illness.
Yeah, here's the problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
For conservatives to be identified as a man or woman, basically what you do is you check your junk out, and if you got one of these packages, you're a man, and if you have the envelope, you're a female, right? And with the left, it's a state of mind, and so I don't even know what we're measuring anymore. How many of those men are now women and unhappy?
Right.
They have a fluid barrier there where you would ordinarily think you could do science. In fact, we would ask, what do you mean by a woman? They'd say, oh, geez, it's not my field. I'm just trying to do a happiness survey, right?
Right.
Yeah, of course they're miserable, Sevi. Look at them and listen to them.
Well, this is
No one hysterical is happy. Nobody hysterical is actually happy.
Well,
what you're looking for is calm in life, not hysteria. You picture old age like sitting out in the garden with the kids, a la Marlon Brando in The Godfather, not the house on fire trying to get out with your walker. Some of these fucking idiots actually think Adolf Hitler is on the rise.
Right.
While John Kerry's stumping for an end internationally, stumping for an end of the First Amendment to maintain democracy.
So these guys went on to say that they can't figure out why, and they can't figure out why liberal women are so unhappy. And this kind of hit me.
They need to ask me.
Wouldn't you think that the operating system for our biology, two of the things would be that you want, as a woman, you want a strong man and you don't want to kill babies. So imagine
protect and provide. You'd want someone who would protect you and provide for you.
So if your biology, if the operating system you're supposed to have, which is I'm saying is your intellect and your thought process, should coincide with your biology, you should not be vehemently defending the right to kill babies and be opposed to toxic masculinity. And how this kind of hit me was McKenna, who's a friend of ours, she has that big buff boyfriend who's eminently capable of fucking, dismembering anybody. And she was saying how the women at her work don't find him attractive because he's too big and strong. This is, in Santa Cruz. And I'm like, man, that's just, and I said, how are those girls mentally? She goes, oh, they're all depressed messes and they're hysterical. And I'm like, yeah, if you're a woman, contrary to whatever intellectual gymnastics you've pulled, and you're defending the right, if you're vehemently defending the right to kill babies, you have to be going against your biology. And that conflict would have to fucking cause someone to fucking go batshit crazy. And if you don't want a big, strong man who can defend the cave while your legs are up in the air and you're birthing a baby, you also are going against your biology. And I think that's the root of the misery. Going against what's fundamentally the perfect thought process for being a woman.
Women cannot be sexually attracted to men that cannot protect and provide
without going crazy.
No, you'd live without desire or pent up desire.
Right.
Or, and we've seen articles on this, the big talk about amongst liberal women is, why the fuck are they so attracted to conservative men?
Right.
I'm ashamed of it.
Christian Young, they're lying. I don't believe them. Yeah, I don't believe them either. The problem is they believe themselves. Uh, 99% of the women I know without children are crazy past a certain age. Christian Kettler. Just thankful that we get to sit with Coach Greg.
Hi, Grace. I'm so biting my tongue right now.
In regards to women being attracted to liberal men?
Yeah, and just the wreck I could cause of this upcoming family vacation, and like by drawing instances from my immediate experience, and just, you know.
You want to tell some stories about family members?
I don't, is what I'm saying.
Hey, have you gotten in trouble for anything you've said on this show? Has Maggie even been like, hey, don't tell that story?
No.
Oh. I've gotten in trouble a handful of times now.
Yeah, I remember. I've enjoyed it too when you get in trouble.
Yeah, Haley doesn't get so mad.
I thought you were going to do it right here and now with McKenna.
Well, I may have. I don't think anyone who works at a restaurant listens to the show, so I took the calculated risk. But I mean, she has a perfect man as a.
This is why Stern invents characters, you know, ass napkin Ed and shit like that, right?
So the other day, I played a clip. Do you know who Tyler Fish is? He's a comedian. He's been on the show before. I think you'd recognize. Does the name ring a bell?
Tyler Fish?
Yeah. I think that's his name, Tyler. Let me see if I can. He's a conservative comedian. He was a liberal guy out of New York, liberal Jewish guy, and then he stopped getting. He was told that he couldn't get a job. Let me see if I can find it. He couldn't get a job because they said he was white and they weren't hiring white people. And he flipped the script, and now he's everywhere. Let me see if you recognize this guy. Do you recognize this guy right here? Tyler
Yes.
Fisher? Okay.
I've seen him on Fox, I think.
Yeah, he's been on Fox. He's been on Gutfeld. Yeah.
Fisher, not Fish.
Oh, Fisher. Okay, so recently, he was on a Delta flight, and he took a picture of one of the stewardesses and one of who was wearing a pin that was LGBTQ2SS+1 or something, and he took a picture and he wrote and he tweeted it, and he said, "Why does it matter if the stewardess is likes cock or vagina to me?" Something like that. Why does it matter if the stewardess likes to suck cock or eat pussy to me or something? And he included the face of the stewardess in the shot, right? So I don't know, for whatever reason, Delta didn't like that, and they called him and sent him a letter saying he's banned for life and can never fly on Delta again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so it was kind of
need that from United.
I know. I was kind of thinking that wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
If that happened to me.
Sorry, Mags.
I can't go.
Dave Chinchuli's banned from Maui. He wouldn't tell us why.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't go to the island.
Right.
Okay, so here's the newest one. A Delta crew member reportedly made Marine remove threatening shirt. You're not even going to believe this.
Yeah, I do. I was trying to. Listen. I told Dale I would pay for the litigation
for this lady.
And I also said, yeah, for this exact case, this gal was thrown off the plane for her prevent suicide among soldiers shirt.
Yeah, she had a suicide prevention shirt, and they made her change right in front of the fucking steward.
Yeah, in front of people, and she didn't have a bra on. She said she was mortified, and I told Dale, let's sue the airline. I'll pay for it. And then I thought, even better, it'd be fun to start a fund, and I'd put 6-7 figures into it, where we just kind of doled it out for good causes and just litigate against that kind of insanity.
A Marine Corps veteran from the San Francisco Bay Area was temporarily removed from a Delta flight on Wednesday for a T-shirt that was deemed threatening. The shirt said, "Do not give in to the war within, end veteran suicide." And I'm guessing one of the passengers complained.
Why would you guess that? I mean, what's the matter?
because I'm guessing that one of the passengers, they said that I'm guessing one of the passengers complained. There was some policy that I read that Delta had that if anyone on the plane sees what you see, is threatened by what you're wearing or what you smell like, it was like smell and
Yeah,
wear.
I read the policy. It's not quite that easy, but the stewardess gets to define offensive odor, and I mean it's hard when you don't have an objective standard.
This is a huge leap, though. Can you even for
I think she has a great case,
like
and it doesn't go to court. Of course, they'll give her $1 million.
with any stretch of the imagination? Can you see how that would be offensive? Do not give in to the war within, end veteran suicide. I can't even be like, well, I can kind of see how that. Like, I can't even get this far. Can you?
Of course not. That's why I would sue.
Do not give in to the war within, end veteran suicide.
That's just pulling from the money tree. Litigation here. And I tell you, it is. It's a guaranteed harvest from the money tree. And the deal is you do not want a jury to get wind of this. You can't do that. You can't take that risk.
They'll go ballistic.
Oh, the media would be horrible. You'll get a boycott of your airline.
I think
they said something. The airline said something like we called her to get her side of the story, and we're blah blah blah. Well, she's gonna fly for free all over the fucking world. What's gonna happen? And put on any shirt she wants and sit in first class.
There's like 10 vets that kill themselves every day. Jesus. I didn't realize it was that bad. Mike, it's 20. Damn.
It just went up. It's a problem.
People vindicate, vndk8.com. People find a way to get triggered by anything that might reference war or violence, no matter the intent.
That's true.
Oh, that's the 22 push-ups a day. Okay. And that's that program in memory of oh, you only have to do 20 push-ups now.
What are you talking about?
Kenneth is saying that people do 22 push-ups a day. That's how they know it's 22 people who kill themselves a day on average. But it's kind of like some remembrance to keep that clear in your mind. Every day you should do 22 push-ups, because 22 vets kill themselves. But Pat's saying you only have to do 20 push-ups now because it's gone down.
I like that.
Yeah. That it's gone down, or that people are doing push-ups?
Yeah, that it's going down, and the push-ups, the whole program. I think it's cool. I have a new diet for you, Sevi.
Okay.
Guaranteed to lose weight, and it's got a big fasting component.
Okay.
And it's cool because you get to eat out. Sound good?
I love it.
And you can eat anything you want, and you eat out 3 meals a day.
Okay.
And what you do is you have to sit down, and when the waitress comes up, you can't do anything else. You got to sign the oath. You're only going to eat from on this plan 3 meals a day, any restaurant you want. You sit down, and when the waitress comes over, you go, "Excuse me, I'm deathly allergic to seed oils."
And they won't have anything on the menu for
You'll be asked to leave. It'll be you might last 2-3 weeks on this diet. Enormous weight loss. You'll have to come off of it. You'll fucking starve to death. Remember when Brian's dead wife used to pull that shit in a restaurant?
No seed oils?
I am seriously allergic to seed oils, and there'd be a powwow with the chef, and then come back and like, I'm sorry, we're not gonna be able to serve you. Like, time to go. It's great.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
I learned that from her. Learned a diet from a girl who passed away.
I'm gonna pass.
Be fun to film it.
I agree. Malcolm X making his debut on the Sevon podcast.
Oh.
Included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. And this included comedians, comics.
Listening to this made me realize that, or remember that, the left has an enormous problem with black intellectuals. Ben Carson, Thomas Sowell, Larry Elder. The liberal community fucking
You know what they are?
hates black intellectuals.
You know what they've done, and you can hear it in their voices and see it in their successes. They've escaped the plantation.
Yeah. They like Al Sharpton and Jay-Z.
Well, they want black filthy rich that still gets to talk like they're on the plantation.
Right. They don't want anyone who's put the time in, the thinking time in. Isn't it a trip? I think that there's going to be, I saw something that basically said, in, I think it was the election of 1934 with FDR. Prior to that, blacks voted 70% Republican and 30% Democrat. And then with FDR, it flipped to 70-30. 70% Democrat, 30% Republican. And I think we might be witnessing another flip 100 years later, 90 years later. And I'm excited how the Democrats are going to treat them now, the black male. If they're going to do what they did to Larry Elder, call the LA Times calling Larry Elder a white man in blackface.
How hard do Mexicans work in California?
Crazy hard. Hardest workers in the state. Crazy hard.
And what that brings them is success.
Right.
And what that costs the Democrats is votes. And so they need to let in a new crop of people.
Well, they're doing it.
The wealth of Hispanic Americans in Watsonville is a beautiful thing to see. God, I love that town, Sevi.
For those of you who don't know, our town is sort of divided. Our area is sort of divided. We're in this farm area, and in Greg lives right in the middle. And in the south is where all the Mexicans are, and in the north is where all the, people pour down from Silicon Valley. It's where all the whiteys are. I think it's like 1% Native American, 1% black, but there's no Mexican. It's just white people here, and they're butted up against each other. And Greg refuses to go north.
I won't go into the white community.
Yeah, he won't. So anytime
I don't like their grocery stores, their restaurants, or people.
Yeah. It's so funny. Anytime I'm like, hey, you want to go here? He's like, not on the west side. I ain't going there. He only goes south.
Went to a Willie Nelson concert, and a homeless dude pulled a knife on my father-in-law. It was a foot long while I'm locking the fucking car, right? I mean, yeah, fuck that side. I'm going to kill someone hanging out down there.
Right.
I go to Watsonville. I don't even bring my gun. Someone else will. There's just no trouble. You know what's amazing in Watsonville too is no one wants to hear it. It's great. It's a great town.
I do. Tell me. I do. Fuck it.
I just love that corn growing in the front yard with clothes on the line drying, and the kids with nice clean clothes on walking to school with dad. Like, it's cool as hell.
You and I have never talked about this, but you know when you get off the freeway and we're going to Cilantro's and you stop at that main first intersection and Jack in the Box is on one side, Cilantro's on the other, and you're at that crossing, you make a left to go to Home Depot.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed right on that corner there that someone's using that public land to grow food?
Yeah.
That shit's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the house on the corner. Because I've seen someone make an egress out of the slats in the fence there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know that's Mexicans. They're using the public land to grow their own fucking food.
I'm telling you, growing vegetables in the front yard.
Yeah.
In a small fence front yard with clothes hanging up to dry and a tidy, well cared for home makes me proud. Makes me happy for those people. I know that whoever's done that is proud of it and it makes them happy. And that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yep. Hey, how are your bees?
The yellow jackets are causing a problem, and I'm going to be there next week, and I'm going to turn yellow jacket eradication into sport. I did it in Coeur d'Alene. I had so many of those traps so covered in yellow jackets, I thinned their numbers, seriously.
Have you lost a queen yet? You have 2 hives?
The last time I looked, it didn't look good, and I wasn't around long enough to take care of it. And I asked Mark to do something, and he put out a couple of traps, but I'm talking about like 100 of them, and use the pheromone too.
I want to do that with you. Hey, is Kara going up there and checking them periodically?
I'm sure. I think so. I haven't heard. But
you haven't lost a whole hive yet.
Yeah. I don't know the current status. I'm going to have to admit. But I have enjoyed killing yellow jackets as much as I've enjoyed raising bees. So I'm meant for this.
Joe Westerland. Hey, fellas.
Joey.
Hey, it would be fun to go up there too with the salt guns and just blast a few just for sport.
Yeah.
I know it's not
efficient. The bees emit something that the yellow jackets attack each other, and I think I witnessed that. You heard this? Did you tell me?
No, that's interesting. They spray something that causes the yellow jackets to lose their mind and start attacking each other.
I saw clusters of 5 yellow jackets in a fight, and I was like, I don't know what to do here other than just put my foot on the whole thing and grind it a little. But you can put out a piece of salami. We do this in Coeur d'Alene and sit there with the assault gun and the first one that shows up and get far enough away that he just does little circles and shit, right?
Uh-huh.
And they just keep coming to his aid. And I think there's like paramedic yellow jackets because you fuck one up and it gets quite a bit of attention. You fuck those up and it's shit. It's fun. It's the only thing I hunt is insects.
Here's a great observation. Greg, the last time you turned something into a sport, they forced you to sell.
Yeah. I had no idea I was going to get that much, or I would have said something sooner.
Horrible idea with the salt gun. They're immune to salt gun. I tried it. No, listen.
Oh, no. You don't have the CO2 one. You must be in California. Yeah, ask him. Let us know. I mean, you're talking about the manual one.
Yeah, Rambler. He has this CO2 one, and it separates. It dismembers them.
I gave one to Jim Wad, and he blew a hole through the screen and was forced to use it outdoors by the missus. And he's probably got that's funny. Imagine Jimmy getting sent outside with his gun.
No, I can't imagine anyone telling Jimmy to do anything. Just a reminder. Oh, thank you, Pool Boy. Just a little reminder.
Conservatives always talk about how teachers need to keep their private lives private and they shouldn't be talking about gender and sexuality with their students.
Yes, most conservatives don't think it's appropriate for you to talk to children about who you prefer to sleep with.
Kid came up to me after the end of class and asked my pronouns. I had forgot to put them in my little get to know me slide. But come on, what was I supposed to do? Lie. And then they asked more, and I said yeah, I'm bi.
Ooh, girl, I'm going to stop you right there. If a kid asks you your pronouns, you tell them your gender. But where you went wrong is when you elaborated and started to talk about who you sleep with.
It's real, man. Can you imagine a teacher telling you, just go back to elementary school, Greg, or junior high. Can you imagine a fucking teacher telling you that they're bi?
I would have loved it, dude.
I would have loved it too. Don't get me wrong.
Let me tell you how I felt in school. I felt like a prisoner of war in elementary school.
Uh-huh.
And if someone had walked in and shot the teacher in the head, I would have liked it. I didn't like my teachers. I didn't like the classmates. I didn't like being there. I didn't like anything about any of it. I felt like a POW. Scared of what the teacher was going to do, what my classmates were going to do, and if I didn't cooperate, what my father would do. There wasn't a bit to it that was enjoyable. So finding out that my teacher had grave mental issues would have been a joy for me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not suggesting otherwise, but just to distinguish that between what's appropriate and not appropriate.
I mean, my kids would be like, "What's bi?"
Right. Even worse.
Yeah, and how are you going to tell them? I want
Gimlet Eye, Keith Mono, character driving force of politics after left went too far.
Hey, Burnt Lumber, thank you. God, do we know each other? I mean, Manos the Gimlet Eye is one of the best things ever written in any kind of serialized form. That was an outstanding column. And one of them, Ceremonies of Fire, I think is one of the coolest essays written in the English language in modern times.
What is it? I don't even know it.
D. Keith Mano had a regular column called The Gimlet Eye in National Review, and in the 80s, and it was brilliant. Hard to get your hands on that stuff. I mean, you got to be a pretty good internet sleuth to pull that off. Probably even spend some money with National Review.
Let me see if I can make this smaller. Was this column always called that, the Gimlet Eyed, or was that
was the Gimlet Eye was the name of his column, and it ran for years. And he'd go to things like he attended a lot of lefty kind of shit, and it was brilliant. Wonderful, wonderful prose stylist.
I knew Keith Mano long before I met him. My family first subscribed to National Review in 1969. Mano's regular column, The Gimlet Eye, appeared in 1972. Shit, that was the year I was born. For 17 years, writing thousands of words in every issue, 2 or 3 columns in a row, punctuated by a book review.
Got to look at Burnt Lumber, big spender here. Thank you. Hey, Burnt, send me collected Gimlet Eyes, and I'll fly you out to my gig in January and put you in a hotel.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Send you them? They're actual hard copies?
Yeah, I mean, let's make that happen somehow. I don't know how you do it, but there's some way to pull that off microfiche, is my recollection, and print them.
You don't think somewhere you could get all the old issues of National Review? Someone's got to have them.
I got my hands on all of the old Martin Gardner columns from Scientific American, and that took Emily and some talents I don't have. So I always need help with that kind of thing.
This guy's dead.
Yes. I'm telling you, the essays are so good. Another one he went to a seminar on flirting, how to flirt. And it's one of the best things I've ever read. Talks about the cruelty and stupidity of sudden judgment.
He wrote 10 books.
Yeah, I've got a few of them. Weird. I've not read his novels.
He wrote on sex for Playboy and on anything and everything for his Gimlet Eye column in National Review.
Yeah. You know what's hard to do when, say, you're a John Steinbeck fan and he's your favorite novelist? It's hard for me to get people to read his collected prose writing, the best of his newspaper work, because it's absolutely remarkable. But not a lot of people will do that. And like me, it's my resistance to read Mano's fiction when I was like, he was such a good essayist. It would surprise me if the fiction could stand to that level.
I'm looking up Keith Mono flirt, and I can't find anything.
The thing was on Grokking or something. Had some weird name. But look, if you'll know you're from the right track, see if you can find Ceremonies of Fire, because that's one that I've actually gotten hold of, but it's not easy to do.
The Bridge Keith Mano books. Even that when I type, okay, here we go. The Uns. Oh, okay, yeah. Is that a book? Ceremonies of Fire.
It's one of his essays, and wonderful.
Crazy. Okay, so this guy who knows this Burt Lumber guy, is an old timer for him to know who Keith Mano is. That person's over 50.
Yeah, I know Mr. Lumber.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I may stay out of this at this point.
Okay. Jeremy E. World, isolated incident, Pat. You were able to put it together just now in your head?
I just got contacted.
Oh, okay. Natalie Fleming, Sevi, which account do I send you that link to the article about the chick that deported her cheating boyfriend? I sent it to Sevon Podcast IG. Oh, I send it to just Sevon Matosi.
Oh, that's a great move. That's hilarious.
Send me that to my Sevon IG. I don't have access to the podcast Instagram account for anyone. They don't want me to have access to it because they don't want me to do anything to get it shadow banned.
Hey, I want to offer something here. I want to ask you a question. How obvious is the difference for you? Can you readily see the difference between the probability of it raining, given that it's cloudy, versus the probability of it being cloudy, given that it's raining? Are those clearly different things to you? In other words, do you recognize that the likelihood, the probability of rain, given that it's cloudy, is a smaller thing than the probability of it being cloudy, given that it's raining?
Yeah. Yes.
Easy thing, right?
Right. If there's clouds in the sky, it doesn't mean it's going to rain.
Right.
If it's raining, like there's clouds in the sky,
Right.
100% somewhere nearby.
And we could teach children that.
Right.
And I could teach them in a form that looked like the probability of A given B versus the probability of B given A, with that notation that you might see there on the board.
Yeah.
Here.
Yes.
And you could come up with countless examples of what that's about.
Yes.
Well, the fallacy is so pervasive in the world of science and medicine and law that it wreaks havoc. And it alone could work miracles towards eventually eradicating the replication crisis, because it's called confusion of the universe or fallacy of the inverse, or the transposition of conditionals fallacy. But confusing those two things has created this huge body of scientific work that won't replicate. And in fact, the p-value issue is a variant of this. It's confusing. All of the misapprehensions of p-value are confusions of the inverse, where we confuse the probability of the data given the hypothesis and use that to believe that we've come to a conclusion about the hypothesis given the data. And it's no different than your rain and cloudy one. It's a formal fallacy. It's been known to be wrong for a long time. And yet 95% of physicians, when given the basics, will use the sensitivity of a test to give a diagnosis rather than the positive predictive value. That too, a confusion of the inverse. And I maintain that this is something that we need to teach our children as an application of arithmetic and an introduction to logic. It's so critically important. Another instance of it is the prosecutor's fallacy, which are all kind of fun things to look at.
Can you give me one? Can you give me another example, like one that's like, oh, we see in society?
Yes, honey.
Am I cutting into your school time?
No, not yet. Here, baby.
Stefan, check your DMs. Okay, I will.
I mean, I can come up with examples all day long, but and what I can also do is, and this is something you'd want to do for everyone, including children. There's the father of modern day probability theory, a Russian, Kolmogorov. He gave us a geometric interpretation in defining a conditional probability, and that's what that is. That what's the probability it's going to rain given that it's cloudy? Okay, that's a conditional probability. And he gave us a geometric interpretation of those that also makes it abundantly clear that the probability of A given B isn't the same as B given A. And the problems that causes in thinking are manifest. Like the woman that got sent to prison for killing her kids because she had 3 kids died of crib death.
Okay, go on.
Well, you can't do the math that way. You can't use probability in that manner. It's a confusion of the inverse.
So they were saying that the odds were so fucking slim that all 3 of her kids would die of crib death that they convicted her of murder.
That's right. And that worked until someone with a math, physics, or logic background thought about it and passed it around, and she ended up released pretty quickly and dusted off. And the fallacy has also been given the name in modern times of Bernoulli's fallacy. And Bernoulli, the Bernoulli family made immeasurable contributions to the sciences. But I think it's Jacob of the Bernoullis. I don't want to impugn the wrong one, but he kind of could be called the father of looking at the probability of data on the assumption of a hypothesis and using that to infer some information about the hypothesis. And it's a fallacy. It doesn't work.
Can you explain the crib death one to me? If it's 1 in 100 that one baby dies, and then you have 2 babies die, and now it's
the odds of that misfortune cannot be translated to an inference of her guilt. Your horrible luck doesn't, it happens.
Right. Okay. So it still would be, there's no premise there that it would be highly irregular or sorry, highly probable that she did kill them. Like it you're not suggesting that that's not a fair thought.
If the hypothesis, if it's given that the evidence that she killed them is powerful. The evidence is powerful on the assumption that she killed them.
Right. Okay. Yes.
I can say nothing about the probability of her killing them given the evidence. I can't flip that around. It's the
Right.
prosecutor's fallacy, and it's the rain in the cloud thing.
Wow.
Hard to see, but we need to sensitize ourselves to that.
Say that again. That was good. That way you worded that. Say that
the probability of the evidence on the assumption that she killed them works, but that doesn't translate to the probability that she killed them given the evidence. And the legal world is coming to understand this and looking around and going, fuck, look, I mean, it happens pretty often. It's not the first time. There's something similar has been going on with DNA. Look up prosecutor's fallacy. I'm sure there's a Wikipedia article on it. But it is a fallacy of this sort. And what I propose is to ingrain in children a basic understanding of conditional probabilities and to learn to be ever attentive, because what you could do is you could, in each instance, hide it a little better. Some of them are real obvious, some are not.
The prosecutor's fallacy is the prosecutor's fallacy is a misinterpretation of probability that occurs when someone assumes the probability of a random scientific match is the same as the probability that the defendant is innocent. For example, if a prosecutor argues that there's a 1% chance that an innocent person would have a certain blood type and then concludes the accused is guilty, the prosecutor has committed prosecutor's fallacy.
Yeah, 1 in a million with this blood type. It's kind of all the current rage to realize this legally. We see the same thing in binary diagnostics, where like it was a group of 100 physicians were asked based on this data, what is the probability that this guy, what's the predictive value of this guy's diagnostic work? And they all used the sensitivity and came up with this number around 75%, when in fact there's about a 7.5% chance. I know Miss Emily, my partner in the Broken Science Initiative, has been talking to physicians about the positive predictive value of a bad mammogram, and it's poorly understood. It's an interesting thing.
That one's that's probably the most famous one, right? The mammogram thing. There's a book on that, right? Pretty famous book.
Gautier wrote on mammograms, and brilliantly. And then he took on the Gates HPV vaccine, then psych meds in children.
Oh, the psych meds in children is horrible.
So it's a horrific story.
Yeah. I mean, that was basically fraud too. As I recall, they were the kids that died, they were just pulling them out and just saying that they dropped out of the study. Is that the one?
Yep.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
Your p-value is the probability of the data on the assumption of the null being true. And all of the misinterpretations, and they're near universal. I mean, people have been surveyed, and giant swaths of the academic community hold one or multiple misinterpretations of p-values, but all of the misinterpretations have you magically jumping from the probability of the data given the hypothesis to some assessment is the probability of the hypotheses. And there is no logical inference that can be made. When you corner the statisticians, they'll admit as much, but the reason it's used is because it does mistakenly infer a validation of a hypothesis. And this is at the heart of the replication problem. All of which can be seen as stemming from an inadequate definition of science. I propose that we teach kids what science is ahead of teaching them teaching them science. Teach them what it is first. And that would be important if you go into science, and even more important if you don't. What we've done with COVID is fundamentally become victims of pseudoscience. That's what the Fauci book's about. It would be fascinating to grill him as to what he really thought science was.
Fauci.
Mm-hmm. I believe he's a first-rate technologist, but you can, in that space, you can learn the craft of technology, especially in the biology realm. You can learn that as much as in much the manner that a sorcerer would do alchemy, and it works. You know what I mean? You can learn on the job. Hell, you can learn radar systems on the job. It's very, very rare, but I've seen that happen.
And that's what January 11th and 12th in Scottsdale will be about. That will be the first beta run of that.
Yeah, Stove said something about, I just love this sentence. It's we should try for a moment, though it is almost impossible, to take in the full grotesqueness of the contemporary situation in the philosophy of science, in the book that Broken Science Initiative rescued from obscurity, sad obscurity.
So many
I'm going to take a weekend to help people take in the full grotesqueness of the contemporary situation in the philosophy of science. And I think I can do so in a way that leaves you with a sense of having learned something profound that keeps on giving. You can keep on learning. It's a framework on which to continue to grow. And I think we can do so where it's readily accessible and entertaining. And I think that the profundity of the material combined with its accessibility creates the entertainment. I think that's kind of how that rolls. But we've got some things to say about science and about probability and about statistics and validation and induction and deduction that are really, really life-altering in terms of your intellectual composition, such that you would really be Fauci-proof. I mean, what do my friends and I have that how is it that Zoe and I and Malcolm Kendrick and I and Tim Noakes and I, how is it we saw this thing for the bullshit it was long before everyone started dying? Right? I think that's a heritable skill. I think I can communicate that.
Impart it onto other people.
Yeah, and we all knew. I knew what they thought before I asked them. And you get like, hey, anyone here? Did anyone fall for that shit? You know, and of course, nobody did. Nobody did. Once you've seen the public health apparatus at work, you'll never be able to unsee it. And so, they fooled me on briefly on metabolic disorder, and I pulled my head out of my ass 35, 40 years ago. And when they attempted it on the infectious disease front, it went flat, never got off the ground. I was watching their numbers and their methods with the flu, highly entertained when they tried to pull the COVID scam with the same kind of numbers.
I feel like there were so many red flags there that
Oh,
anyone could have seen it.
it was hard to get together with uh, uh, Aaron
Ginn?
Ginn and Jay Bhattacharya and John Ioannidis and whoever else, any of the skeptics. We all saw different things wrong. Kerry Mullins, the Nobel Prize winning PCI guy.
I just realized Aaron Ginn texted me and I never responded.
He's a good dude. I gotta go, Sevi.
Okay, bye. Oh,
Bye,
I'm
everyone.
gonna see you in 2 days.
I
Oh.
love
Are you coming tomorrow night after trick or treating?
in the morning.
On the 1st of the morning.
Yeah.
But you got to leave early because you got to beat them here.
Yeah, the kids arrive.
Okay. Do you have a?
And Snaz and Michaela are bringing Grandma Katie.
Okay, that's. Oh, okay. Hey, Friday's wide open for me. If you need a ride from the airport, just call me.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, right to Cilantros.
Okay, maybe I should come in your. I'll go to your house and get your car, so you don't have to ride in my shit box.
Thanks, buddy. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Bye.
All right, bye.
Hey, where's Davies here, man?
I'll let him know. So,
All right.
what time are you coming in the morning? You want to do Cilantros like at 11?
Yeah,
You be here that early?
I can do that.
When do the kids come?
I'm not sure, but Snaz and Michaela were waiting around with an extra big car because they were coming in. Michaela's got it all figured out.
I'm sure. Okay, awesome.
And I'm going to keep everyone in Granite Way except Grandma Katie, who's going to stay with me.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye, Sev.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Greg Glassman. Oh, what's this movie? There was something in here that caught my attention. What's is there a Princess Diana movie that my wife should see? She just watched some like 600-part series on the history of the UK, and no, not that. What documentary should my wife see about Princess Di? Oh, the Susan Smith situation is just like the Aunt Diana movie. There's something wrong with Aunt Diane. We had to watch it for psychology on why she killed her kids. Oh no, okay. Never mind. Squish boobs or not squish boobs? Squish them. For sure, squish them. I wonder who Burnt Lumber is. Burnt Lumber. I wonder if I can figure that out. Wow. So much drama. So much drama. I did not sleep well last night. I'm on season 4 of Dexter. And then it was like 10:45 and I stopped watching it. And then I don't think I fell asleep till 1. It was weird. I put some I just laid there. I think I had too much caffeine yesterday. I mean, it was nice just laying there. I love being in my bed. No pillow. Feet up on a big puffy pillow. One hand on my wife. I think I was there for like 2 hours before I fell asleep. No kids came in the room last night. It was awesome. But I just didn't sleep enough. The alarm went off and I was like, holy shit. You know those nights when you feel like you didn't even sleep? It was kind of like that. Yeah, Philip, you said season 4 is excellent. I told Hillary yesterday, I said, hey, I'm on season 4. And he said, hey, dude, you're the luckiest person alive. And I go, why? He goes, that's the greatest season in all of TV. You're so lucky you've never seen that and you get to watch it. I did not like last night's episode. It was stressing me out how sleepy he was. It was so, maybe that's why I didn't sleep well, because I watched an episode where he wasn't sleeping well. Sevan, I put on your show yesterday with Dale Saran while driving into work with my wife in the car this morning. All she took away from it is that you are not Christian. How can you imagine thinking that I'm not Christian? Can you I can't imagine being a Christian and not knowing that I'm Christian, no matter what I say. I just can't fathom it. How could you be that's the litmus test if you're really a Christian. How could you not know that I'm being used by God? How could you not know? It's devastating. Ask her. How could you not know? So some Christians are like Christians are interesting, especially newly minted Christians. They're like newly minted people with CrossFit or newly minted people who like are Alcoholics Anonymous. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the guy, he's just been going to AA for 2 months and his friends who still drink around him, like he's focused on hating them, or he's like that, like you're fixated on that stuff. And it's like, I get it. Is she newly minted Christian? How could you not know? How could you not see the hands of God working me? How could you not see it? No Christian means follower. You can't follow what you don't believe is real. Isn't that a weird phrase? Believe is real. Believe is real. How could you how could you possibly believe anything that's real? It doesn't even make sense to me. I don't know how you could you only believe things that aren't real. That's why you believe them. Right? Why would you would you say that Jesus is the Lord of your life? Or, I don't know. Would Jesus say that he's the Lord of my life? Oh, you can't believe God is real. You can only hope. I don't know if you can only hope. Maybe you can know God is real. Why can't you know God is real? Ariel and Sporty Beth are going to do a collab to stop bullying. Oh, I saw that thing. I like Ariel, but like I just disagree with her there. I don't think I don't know. You would have to do something so harsh to bully her just because she's like the stage has been set. It's like saying it's like saying if two UFC fighters step in the ring and you said one of them was bullying the other one. Like, other than it being a tactic or was being mean to the other one or something. It's like, dude, you just stepped in a ring, locked the fucking door, and the goal is just to knock someone unconscious. I mean, I have my bias, but if you go on YouTube, as soon as you make a video that says the most toxic man in CrossFit or you start attacking people, it's like, all right, it's all fair after that. You can say whatever you want to her. You can say her titties are nice. You can say the guy who fucked her must be gay because no straight man would ever fuck her. Like, I don't like it's on like Donkey Kong. It doesn't matter after that. I mean, you have the person saying the shit has to deal with the karma or the ability to process, you know, whatever they're doing. But if you think you're just being funny and you don't think you're bullying her, then you're not. At that point, it's all up to whoever's saying it. What you're comfortable with and can put your head down at night and sleep with. But man, she's gotten like if you have a YouTube channel, you're in the ring. Like you went in the ring and shut the door. And this whole everything else after that's just woke bullshit. Like the thing is you got to have a fucking thick skin. Or I don't know. I don't know what even the skin looks like. I don't even know what the skin looks like on people who were raised with social media. Like, so some people think I'm just starting to realize I don't think social media is real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just see it as like, but I think a lot of people like think it's real. Like for me, it's not. And maybe they're right, and maybe I'm wrong. And honestly, I don't care. But for me, it's not real. Like, if your feelings are being hurt by social media, then it's like, I mean, something that's so blatantly I categorize as imaginary is like social media is like a food fight. It's not like a real fight. Yeah, like lice are real. Oh, Graciano should have known he might get lice from me. Did I say that once? Yeah, if you hang out with me, you should know you're possible you'll get lice. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. But no, why is it but? And he misspoke. Jesus misspoke. I don't know who said that. Oh, Matthew misspoke. And I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully I would tell you something crazy about that. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully, what does that mean? Committed adultery with her in his heart. I know what lustfully? Lustfully? Lustfully is an adverb meaning involving or showing strong sexual desire or having a powerful feeling of wanting something. She stared lustfully at the chocolate cake. Could you admire a giant set of titties without being lustful over them? Oh, you want to have sex? Well, then I'm never lustful. I don't. You want to have love-ins with her? Oh, fuck! Then I'm pure as shit. I've never looked at a woman and been like, I want to fuck her. Ever? I don't think. I'll let you know. I'll watch. I mean, besides my wife. I mean, yeah, besides my wife. I don't even think I think about it. If you get a hard on, are you lustful? That's pure bullshit. Pure. Yeah, I look at them appreciatively. I mean, call me gay, but I could look at the contour of a dude's shoulder to his bicep, that round right there, the same way I look at a pair of titties. I don't know. Just all the same shit to me. Just cool fucking curves and stuff. Ain't nothing pure. Like, so you'll actually go somewhere in your head, like you'll see a girl walking down the street and then you'll actually think like you're in the shower with her or like you're eating her out or she's blowing you. You'll actually think that. I would feel so fucking naked if I thought that in public. Like everyone would know I was thinking that. I wouldn't even let myself think that. Oh, I see. The probability of getting lice from Sevi is not the same as having lice, meaning Sevi was near you. Oh, thank you. Dude, please stop lying to us and yourself. You're crazy, dude. Hey, it's the same distinction between the putting the shopping cart away and thinking that it's some sort of like measurement of for society. Like you guys are totally missing the point on it. It's okay. I don't care. I don't even care. I think the shopping cart thing is fun. It's just the distinction. You mean you will actually look at a woman and be somewhere, like you'll be at dinner, hanging out with your family, and you'll see some fucking chick walk by and her tits are falling out of her dress, and you'll actually think about boning her? Like, are you out of your fucking mind? I would never let my brain wander over to that. Except on thinking about having sex with men also counts. Oh, that is disgusting. That is so gross. Hey, I wonder if it's why shit doesn't bother me. Like, when people say gross shit while I'm eating, it doesn't even faze me. I can't visualize. So I'm like boring. Maybe that's what it is. I just don't visualize. I don't visualize. I don't see pictures in my head. I just don't. I don't think like that. I'm so simple. There's nothing. I don't think like that. I'm misunderstood. All right. Not my best show with Greg, but not bad.
Fourth and 2. Big conversion. Negaman takes off to his left. Nobody in front of him. Touchdown, Gorillas. Luke Negaman rushes it in, his third carry of the game.
That's his name. That's his name, and he plays on the Gorillas. That's first there was Noah Kniga, then there's Luke Nigaman, NIG. Y'all remember the days? I don't know what's in the name. They say a lot of racial shit. Clearly,
Fourth and 2.
Look at someone in the comments wrote, people with any brains would change such an offensive name. That name is only going to be a hindrance in life. One can't help the name they inherit, but they can change it like many Irish, Italian, Jewish folks did when their name was offensive in our culture or even comical. God, what? Oh, look at it. It's just some old guy. Mike Owen. Mike Owen. Get it? Owen. He's Owen. Mike Owen. Look at the stuff this dude posts. It's kind of wild, right? It's all like old shit. Like he's got some product here called like Bacon Up. I don't know who eats that. Is that food? He's in a band. Look at this. It's just some fixer upper. Hey, that's what I imagine like Taylor's or JR's house to look like right there. Or Tyler Watkins. That's like all those dudes or John Young. I picture all their homes to just look like that. Is that crazy? That's how I picture all their houses. Like and I picture that they all pee outside and shit. Who else? Yeah. And that they have an extension cord. Look at this. I picture that for sure being in Tyler Watkins' front yard. If I hadn't have seen Colton's gym, I'd think Colton lives like right in one of these too. This thing. Just straight California douchebag. Yep. Yep. Let me see if there's anything else in here. Oh, what was this show? From the hell was that from Beastmaster or something? Damn, look at these teeth. My cousin in Alabama took her kids trick-or-treating and found these in one kid's bag. Wow. Oh my God. Anyway. Oh, Flash Gordon. Wow. Holy shit. Nice. Yeah, wow. Yeah, Caleb definitely lives in one of those. I don't. There's. You're stupid if you change your name. This is as good as what was the girl's boobs the song with the girl's boobs? Someone's got to can someone find that for me on Instagram and send that to me? I missed that.
4th and 2. Big conversion. Niggeman takes off to his left. Nobody in front of him. Touchdown, Gorillas. Luke Niggeman rushes it in, his 3rd carry of the game.
Hey, I watched the World Series last night. Wow. Wow, baseball players are real. That's the cuck of all sports. That's the cuck sport. I didn't realize that. You would think tennis was the cuck sport. Every dude was wearing jewelry while they played a professional sport. The fucking picture of this guy, Honeywell, looks like a fucking gag character. He was fucking wearing a turtleneck and a fucking necklace. Another dude who was batting, his shirt was like pushing against his throat like that. What a fucking shit show that sport is. Truly unbelievable. There was one fucking man on the field, some guy named Judge. What a bunch of douche canoes. Baseball is just pure cuckery. What a joke. It's like it's granted, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's not like some great technical skill, just like there's probably like the guy who's the best pancake flipper in the world too, but man, baseball's a fucking, what a joke. The dude's just sitting around not doing shit. Everyone's fucking armored up. The dudes are wearing, I haven't watched baseball in 10 years. I probably won't watch it again. Dude's wearing, my kids didn't even believe it. They came in the house from tennis practice and I was at home and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm watching baseball. And they're like, why are you watching baseball? You don't watch baseball, but I was fucking watching baseball. And I like that dude Judge because he's big. I was like, man, what a fucking stud, 6'8". But man, what a bunch of pussies those guys are. Those, how do you have any injury doing that sport? Absolutely garbage. Just pathetic. What a fucking pathetic sport. I can't even fucking believe it. I guess I did like it that I watched it, and it was the first time since 1970 that a team had won a game after being down 3-0. The Yankees came back and won a game. And I like seeing the Japanese guy. It was weird how everyone had a different stance. No two batters fucking bat the same. One dude standing with his foot, like his heel off the ground when he swings. One guy's like a fat guy and he's standing like he's about to take a shit. He's so fat. This one batter was so fat that in his squat at the plate, it didn't even look physically possible. It looked like he should have like fallen over, but his gut was so big it was holding him forward. And fuck you, Philip Kelly, for saying you bet I didn't read that book. And someone else in there said something about my gun. And you guys can all eat a fat dick. I hope the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your fucking pubic hair before the show's over. You scumbags. Furthermore, I probably will watch the next 2 games because and I had to explain to my kids. They're like, "Oh, so it's a routing," and I'm like, "No, what this is it's an opportunity for the Yankees to do something that no one's ever done. This is fucking awesome. It's going to be the best thing that ever fucking happened in sports. If the fucking Yankees can pull it off, and baseball will be huge. I hope the Dodgers are actually throwing the game so that the fucking station can make more money and the sponsors can make more money. But man, what a fucking joke. Your kids should be playing baseball. Let them be American boys. I actually am going to sign Ari up for baseball. That's funny you say that. He loves fucking wiffle ball. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go play with him today. Yeah, that guy Judge is a stud. What a man child that guy is. That guy Judge is he, you know who he reminds me of? Who's the UFC fighter? Poatan. There better not be a Sevon's Gunt. I will fucking ban you. He's batting like, yeah, that was another cool thing. He's batting .118 in the World Series. That was another interesting thing. that I guess just from what I gleaned, I only watched the last like 5 innings. I was talking to Hiller on the phone and I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm watching the World Series." And when I grow up, I want to be like Hiller, so I started watching it. But that was another interesting thing. I guess 2 of their best players had a shitty game, and they still won whatever it was, 10-4, 11-4, whatever the fuck it ended up being. Oh, it is on again tonight. And here's another thing. I don't know how my TV got it. I don't even have good TV. And I had it. Is that the guy's name, Aaron? Yeah, what a fucking stud. Hey, dude, one of his forearms is massive. He was wearing a long black what's the guy's name? I'm going to Google it. It's Aaron Judge forearm. I'm going to see if I can. Aaron Judge foreman. No, forearm. Is that his name, Aaron Judge? Yeah, his forearms were massive. He's a freak. God, can you imagine how proud his parents are of him? My kids are like, "Hey, if he was in our house, could he touch the ceiling?" I was like, yeah. Oh shit. I wanted to show you this picture of him, but you need access. You need a subscription to Business Insider. I need a baseball player to come on the show regularly, like Tyson. Who can we get? Who won the Heisman in baseball? What's it called? The Ty Cobb Award? Damn. Images. Trying to find a picture of his forearm, but it was ridiculous. Yeah, he's huge. Yeah, there's all these pictures with him with really short, with short baseball players. Oh, here it is. Here's one. They're all behind a fucking paywall. Here's one. Let me see if I can show you this one. Yeah, look at him. My God. He's huge. I bet you that guy makes a shitload of money. Brianna, you'd be a spinner to that guy. Anyway, I think JD Vance is going on 360 million. That's his contract. That's nice. Aaron's too thick. He's not that well, he's got a huge ass. He's going on Rogan. Oh, I don't have anyone sponsoring Kill Taylor this week. Thank you. I need a Sevan, what show company is sponsoring the show? I need a sponsor for Kill Taylor this week. That would be cool. Someone sponsor it. Greatest show on the internet. Did you guys see Jon Stewart's piece on Tony Hinchcliffe? Candace Owens is not allowed to go into Australia. You guys want me to go off on you guys? Let me just. Some of you are going to be deeply offended by this. I have two things I could just absolutely go berserk on. This is one. Rad said they would sponsor. Oh, that's cool. I would love that. I would love it. Who's the guy over there? That's Adam Kink. Someone tell Adam Kink he should sponsor the show. That would be awesome. That would be so fucking funny with Taylor. Oh my God, that would be so funny. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Yeah, that's a clink. What did I say? I bet you Pat, I was about to tear you up, but you're so sensitive. I don't even like picking on you anymore. You're so sensitive. You've gotten so soft, dude.
2021, Bayer, the German company that owns the herbicide Roundup, announced that it would remove glyphosate from its Roundup line of weed killers for residential lawns and gardens by 2023, after paying out over $10 billion in settlements of legal claims that it caused non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Currently, their website reads, quote, "To further reduce future litigation risk, we've transitioned the manufacturing of our glyphosate products for the U.S. residential lawn and garden market to new formulations that have a different active ingredient starting in 2023. We've taken this action exclusively to manage litigation risk and not because of any safety concerns." No mention of stopping the sale of glyphosate to farmers for use on our food. Well, 2023 has come and gone, so I checked the Roundup store on Amazon and I found 7 products for home use. 2 of them contain glyphosate as the sole herbicide. 1 contained glyphosate with an added toxic chemical, diquat dibromide, that was banned in the EU in 2018 and has been banned in the UK and Switzerland as well. This same diquat is now found in 3 of the other Roundup products. It seems Bayer has jumped out of the frying pan and into the fire while giving us the finger. They may have just made their products more toxic.
No fucking libtard uses this stuff. You are a fucking idiot if you spray poison on your property to kill bugs or weeds. You are a complete fucking moron. If you have some justification, if you're only conservative D-bags walk around with fucking poison and spray it on the fucking weeds coming out of the cracks of their fucking driveway, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're spraying poison at your house? You fucking dipshit. And those of you who hire fucking pest control to come spray for fucking scorpions or spiders or all that shit around your house, you're a fucking moron. You don't think that shit's gonna fucking kill you? You're a fucking tool of the man. And that's the libtards do not do that. Oh, I know you do. I know you spray a ton of poison at work. That's what fucking happened to your hair. You scumbags. Where do you think that shit's going to go? It goes straight into the fucking ocean. I fucking cannot stand that shit. I'm driving down the fucking street and I see someone spraying that shit in the fucking cracks. I'm like, what the fuck are those people fucking doing? Bend over and pull out the fucking weeds. You do realize many people use this, says the burpee dude. I assume mainly because of being uneducated or uninformed. Yeah. I lived in this motorhome, 1977 Chevy Good Life, 27 feet long. And one day I was in there. I don't know. I'm sure some of you have experienced this, especially if you live in California. One day I was in there and within 20 seconds, the entire thing was filled with termites, like millions of them. My whole inside of my fucking motorhome was crawling with those 4-winged bastards. It was like out of a fucking horror movie. It was nuts, bugs everywhere, crawling on every nook and cranny, all over me, buzzing around. So I took a fucking can of Raid and I put that like WD-40 red tube and I fucking put it in the hole that they were coming in and I just fucking sprayed. I don't know how old I was. That's probably 25, 23. And I remember telling my dad the story and my dad said, "Hey, if it kills them, it kills you." That was it. You're right. I was uneducated and unaware. But what? Greg had this house in fucking Prescott, Arizona, and it was covered in fucking bugs. The most insane bugs ever. The craziest praying mantises there. So many praying mantises, black widows. It was nuts. Scorpions. It had fucking everything. And I loved going there and looking at all the fucking bugs. It was absolutely amazing. And crazy hummingbird moths everywhere. Those giant fucking moths that shoot out their tongue and then they hover over flowers. They look like birds, but they're moths. And I remember he sprayed and that was it. All the bugs in his yard were gone. It took like 5 years before the next time I saw a praying mantis on the property. I was devastated. Devastated. Fucking nuts. Fuck you. That's all I see. All I see is bug spray is fucking Darwinian fucking like just killing the fucking idiots. You fucking ding dongs. You have fucking kids at home and you're spraying your fucking property with insecticide. You're out of your fucking mind. I don't know. I don't know about fertilizers. Oh, I'm gonna go to Home Depot today and get you know what I've started doing? I've started just getting chicken manure and spreading it on my lawn for fertilizer. I just get a big bag of chicken manure and throw handfuls out there. I don't know if it works. Excuse me. Pat Lang, why does the average age of mortality continue to rise every year for poisoning everyone? I don't give a fuck, dude.
Sevy, how we doing?
I'm good.
Question for you. Actually, question for you to ask Greg
Okay.
when he comes on.
Okay. Let me get my pen.
Um,
I'm ready.
so Greg, and you've mentioned it in the past. I just kind of want him to elaborate on it more, but oftentimes, and we're hearing more and more about it, about like microplastics and food coloring. And it's just, and he's mentioned before, we're hearing more and more of it in the news, right? To hear less about added sugar, right? Like,
yeah, he has some strong opinions on that. He says that basically it's like fucking washing your car when the fucking engine's blown out. He says it's like pointless.
So, and that's a lot of what I hear. And like, oftentimes it's people will talk about sodium, right? Too, because they're like, oh, that raises my blood pressure. That's bad for it. And I've gotten to arguments with people, and like smart people too, right? Who are educated, right? That want to, but they teach us that sodium's bad for high blood pressure, and that causes, right, hypertension and whatnot. Like the stuff they're doing with Metfix, that message of off the carbs, off the couch, right? Like, why isn't it being told? Right?
Hey,
like,
you know what's crazy? The whole thing about cholesterol is only bad for you if you eat too much sugar.
Exactly.
It's in the same thing as with salt. When you eat, I don't remember the exact mechanism. Greg can come on and explain it, but you can eat all the fucking salt in the world and it won't be bad for you at all. You could just fucking drink it by the gallons. But if you consume sugar, the mechanism in which allows you to process salt gets retarded. And it's the same thing with cholesterol. Like, you want a shitload of cholesterol in your blood, but if you eat sugar, then it's going to cause damage to the arterial wall, and then the cholesterol is going to start clotting in there, and it's going to fuck you up. It's addressing the symptom instead of the cause. It's just retardation.
Is it solely just to protect big sugar and then also big pharma, or is some of it, right, benign, like negligence, right? Is it just?
I mean, look at Cali Means. He's a straight fucking, and he's probably a great guy, but straight fucking cuck, beta male, skinny, perfect health, probably a vegan, and he has nothing to worry about except microplastics, and that's cool. I appreciate what he's doing, but to distract from the bigger root cause of what's fucking causing the fucking collapse of fucking human beings' mobility across the fucking country and fucking the biggest drain on the medical system, it's sugar. It's sugar.
And with the with Candy Day coming tomorrow, that's what I've deemed Halloween at this point. Right? Like, I've gotten shit from people, and I'm fucking 24. And I get shit when they're like, "Oh, you're not going to hand candy out to the kids," and I'm like, "No, like it's." I'm not going to add to the problem if I speak so much against it, right? Like, that's hypocritical. And it's not just, they're going to get the candy anyways. Why would I do it? Right?
My kid walked into tennis yesterday and they had a bowl of candy there. And he's like, "Can I have a piece?" I said, "Sure." And he takes one of those small little Three Musketeer bars. And within 20 minutes, he's crying. I'm like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "My stomach hurts." I'm like, "Well, what'd you eat?" He goes, "That Three Musketeers bar." I go, "There you go." What the fuck do you think's going to happen to you? I go, "I told you that's poison."
Yeah. It's funny at my gym the other day.
And yet he wanted another one on the way out. I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead. I don't give a fuck." He didn't do it. I'm like, "You'd be sick again." I go, "And don't come to me when you're crying."
My gym, we just opened in September, but we're within a baseball and softball complex. But so there's this kid waiting for his lessons with his dad, and this kid had a blonde mullet, right? Probably down to about, I don't know, the middle of his back, right? But the front was just like cut like a bowl. And I'm like, "Dude, that's a sick haircut." And I'm like, "How long you been growing it for?" He's like, 5 years. And I'm like, "How old are you?" 9. And then I was like, "Oh, do you cut the front for school pictures?" He's like, "No, I'm homeschooled." And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, so for the girls then? He was like, not yet. And then we start talking about working out, and the dad's like, he wants abs. And I'm like, you know how you get abs? You eat all your protein and vegetables. And he's like, I do that. And then I'm like, well, then, like, what is it? And he's like, it's because I also eat junk. Like a kid knew it, right? Like it was a smart kid.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy that he knows that that's good, but he's like, no, the reason I don't is because I eat junk. And it's like, holy shit. Like they're smarter if you let them know, right? Like when you treat them like kids and you treat them like they're dumb, they're going to be dumb.
Yep.
Just like adults, right? And those adults just become dumb adults. It's too complicated to, right? Like I think with nutrition, sorry, I'm getting all over the place. When we worry about sodium and whatnot, you're making it too complicated. Keep it simple.
Hey,
it doesn't have to be complicated.
Plumber, off subject here a little bit, but are you willing to explore any gay sex?
Jesus, no.
Okay, sorry, David. David Weed wants to put his cock in your mouth.
Oh goodness,
he wants to.
That's aggressive.
He wants to 69 you. I know it's weird, but anyway, sorry, David. Wrong caller. Fair enough.
That's all I got. Just questions for Greg. He talks about stuff, and then I hear it and see it more, and I see all these people that are, it's the people that should be sharing the message of stop eating sugar that are talking about microplastics and dye.
I mean, look at that, and those people like are in perfect health. Fucking Kennedy's fucking jacked to the gills on TRT. The Callie and Mrs. Means and Mr. Means are all fit and have perfect skin, and it's like, come on, dude. It's the same thing when I had Paul Saladino on. It's like, hey, dude, you got like, I understand your message, but you're way fucking. You've left the room, dude. Like you're so far down the path of health that it's not even relatable to fucking all the 400 pounders in the country.
Well, and it's not even that in some of them, they're not in perfect health of like metabolically, right? They look fucking great, right? But if they eat sugar and refined carbohydrates to excess, you can only imagine what their blood sugar levels are, right?
Yeah.
Or what their metabolism is.
I actually think you could get away with eating just complete garbage and live to 100. You just have to be skinny.
Elaborate.
Like you just have to be skinny. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just have to be, you know what I mean? Like if you like, like the person, like, I used to film with this arm wrestler in Louisiana, and he would drink Coke all day, but he would just drink one Coke all day. He would sip on it out of a plastic bottle. And he wrestled in the 154-pound class, and he was lean and mean, and he was moving all day and sweating all day. I just think that the two biggest things are overconsumption and sugar. But I mean, you've seen the person like when they eat dessert, they just have one bite of the fucking cake. And don't get me wrong, I'm not condoning it, but it's like it at the end of the day, it's just the sheer quantity too.
Yeah,
it's like two scoops of ice cream and a piece of cake.
Cigarette a day?
Yeah.
Right. Like
I don't know about that. Smoking's I think a little bit different, but I think the thing is I mean, ideally you just stay away from
more so the addiction.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
And that's the problem with kids. That's why you don't want to get kids eating sugar, because it will become a lifelong addiction. My kid who tasted sugar the earliest out of my 3 kids is the one that's most attracted to it. And Avi went the longest without it, and he's fucking he can't stand it. He avoids it like the plague. Yeah.
Just thoughts. This is the shit that matters, right? Like, and neither. I mean, yeah, sure, RFK's talking about it, but I mean, fuck, Donnie was at McDonald's the day before, right? Like,
yeah,
it's tough to think that government's going to be the solution to a problem that they're creating.
Yeah,
right? Or they're allowing.
On a side note, I don't think you have to walk the walk to talk the message either. Me personally. I just don't. It doesn't. I'm not like, I don't get distracted by that.
And I'm not saying I'm perfect either, right? No one is, right? But it's just like, why would I be part of the problem?
And there's levels to this shit. my kid's 7 years old. He woke up in the morning, did 2 hours of schoolwork, trained kickboxing for an hour, went straight from there, did 2 hours of tennis, went straight from there, did 30 minutes in the pool, went straight from there and did an hour and 15 minutes of tennis. And it's like, he's at a place metabolically where a little piece of chocolate, shit chocolate, the Halloween candy,
it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. And I'm not justifying it, but like if you're a 70-year-old man or 50-year-old man and you're sitting on the fucking couch all day after being sitting in front of a computer all day at work and you ate 35 of those at the office, you're fucked. You're fucked.
It's different than having a donut every Friday at work because, well, it's just in moderation.
It's just donut day.
It's just donut day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All the best, Sevi.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
I wish I would have copied and pasted this chick's Instagram account yesterday. I saw this girl's body. It was fucking crazy on Instagram last night. And I showed my wife and I'm like, did she have her stomach muscles etched in or something? Her stomach muscles didn't even look real. I've told you guys this before that I think crawling is the holy grail of fitness, that you should never encourage your kid to walk. Let them crawl as long as they can. Let them become just crazy, efficient crawlers. Crawl, 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 crawl. Your kid should do tummy time fucking 10 times a fucking day. If your kid starts crying, set the timer for fucking 30 minutes and just deal with the crying. There's being on the ground, man. Just let your kid, none of those stupid things where the kid pushes the shopping cart around or all those things they have that help kids walk. Fuck all that. Let your kid war with gravity.
We all start our movement training on the ground. There is no exceptions. From those basic patterns, we further develop more and more complex movements for the rest of our lives. And yet most of us abandon ground movement very early and never return to it. Here are my observations. Those that keep ground movement in their daily practice have many advantages. 1, development and maintenance of healthy joints and connective tissue. 2, stability. 3, mobility. 4, strength without needed additional strength training or a huge boost to your current strength training. 5, metabolic health. To sum up, it's a wise investment to develop such practice and then keep it. It's also a great way to pass time.
He makes that shit.
We all start our movement training.
He makes that look so easy. It's really remarkable. That one movement he does, that's an amazing movement. But this one movement he does where he reaches back from the standing position, it's coming up. It's coming up. Right. It's coming up. It's coming up. Not that. Although that's amazing too. It's crazy. It's almost like it's in slow motion. This right here. Watch this movement he does right here. Standing position to reaching back. What a stud this guy is. God. Makes me realize how important it is to keep my wife on all fours. Crazy. CJ, he's a loser. Oh, okay. My bad. Crawl, crawl, crawl. Sevi, ouch, my QL. I did a good workout yesterday. I've been cleaning a lot. I didn't clean, I feel like, for years, and now I'm like on a bit of a tear. I'm doing it at least once every 2 weeks. I used to have a decent clean. I was never strong, but I had good reps. Yo. Hello. Speak to me.
Hello,
Hi.
it's Seema.
Hey, do you know what your phone number comes in as?
My dad's soccer camps.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. All right.
I technically still don't pay for my own cell phone.
Yeah, me neither. I don't either. So I ain't hating. I'm 52 and I still don't pay for my own.
I wanted to go back to the pesticide issue because I don't think people understand how it works. I used to work at an agricultural agency, and there's
hold on.
something
Hold on. I'm gonna disconnect the phone and reconnect it. Hold on 1 second. Okay, you said that you don't think people understand how pesticides work, and you used to work where? At an iron culture?
an agricultural agency.
Agriculture. Okay.
So Roundup or glyphosate is what most normal agricultural users use. But when they use organic, how it works is they apply the pesticide, it's still an organic pesticide, and then the insects eat the leaves and it actually kills their gut and they explode from the inside out. And so what happened was a lot of people started buying more and more organic and they're like, oh, this is more healthy. But the problem is if it rains, then they have to reapply that same organic pesticide sometimes 6, 7, 11 times in a season of a crop. So a lot of people have gut issues no matter what they do because we haven't been replenishing with the good bacteria. How regular glyphosate works is they spray it once, it can last through the rain, it's a hardy chemical, the bugs just don't even eat the plant, and so then they go away, right? Well, glyphosate is stored in your fat cells and then later processed and pushed through when you poop. So there's kind of a duality between organic. I always tell people just to pick whatever looks good and then wash it thoroughly.
Hey, you know what's crazy about that? That's the libtard thing again. Greg was saying that every time the libtards try to fix a problem, they make it worse. Every single fucking time. And there's another perfect example, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
And it doesn't even matter what the pesticide is. What the insect is. A lot of them are benign and don't hurt the crop. But all of these agencies want to act like they're doing something and keep their budgets up. And so they trap all over the US. They put up these little triangle traps, which is what Greg was talking about, the little pheromones. And then they look for whether that pest is actually going to do damage to the crop. But because we have to show that we're so clean to all these other countries and that we're doing something about it, we constantly spray instead of fighting back to the other countries and being like, hey, this blackberry pest is benign. It wasn't even eating the blackberry.
So you're saying that organic food isn't that it's not sprayed, it's that the fact that it's sprayed with some sort of organic pesticide?
Correct.
Wow. I had no idea about that. I had no idea.
So go eat your good bacteria, sauerkraut, etc. I got to go to a meeting. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Sevy.
Yeah. Hey, are you still dating the guy that's in the chat?
Fergie? Yeah. I go Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's nice. All right. You weren't at the games this year?
I was.
Oh, you were? Did I see you?
No, I never ran into it. It was like harder to get to that lower level. And then
I was really looking forward to seeing them this year. I mean, you this year.
I'll see you next year.
All right. Bye. I'm glad you got that joke. All right. Bye. All right. Oh, Seema was there. All right. All right. God, I have one more really brutal clip to play. I don't know if I should play it. Fuck you, David. Fuck you. Sevon, the most creepy man in CrossFit. We have a new show coming to the channel. I wonder if it's there yet. Videos. Nope. Not yet. I wonder if it's going on today. I should call Sousa and find out. Last time I said I was going to call Sousa, he called me before I called him. Let me see if I can call Sousa here. No, not the Dale show. Although I'm trying to get Dale to have a regular show on the channel. I am trying.
You reached Matt. Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
You reached Matt. When is Lance going to be on? Who? Lance who? Armstrong? Dale Saves America. That would be good. You need another black guy besides yourself to host a show. That would be cool. I think we got a girl. God, I want to show you. I want to. Should I do something? God. Oh, Lance, the dick guy. He's coming on soon. Oh, I should find out what's going on with Lance. And Taylor. Thank you. I need to pick Taylor. I need to text Taylor Williamson. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, let's do an evening show. Oh, and then where's Lance? Oh, I'm gonna get Dr. Tro on too. Lance, penis chiropractor, and Matt Souza. Oh, did we? Oh, we got him on November 18th. Okay, he's coming on the 18th. Let's call Danielle. I think Danielle is I don't think she's happy with me right now. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I don't know what's going on with her. I would love to have her on, though. I don't think it's appropriate I call her, though. Here's one that's this is pretty brutal. This is a comedian. But we'll play it anyway.
OnlyFans? You're a nurse? Are you a good nurse or a bad nurse? Like, did you take the vaccine or did you not take the vaccine? You were forced. Yeah, see, nobody would have forced you if you were a stay-at-home mom. I work for my money and I let the government inject me with whatever the they want to inject me with, because I'm an independent woman. I'm independent. I have my own money. Yeah, how many shots? 3? Okay. I'll never be able to have children again? Okay.
What about all the guys who had to get the shot?
Are there? Why do I pick on women? Why do I hate them? I don't. I only hate women like you and that one. This guy's wife sucks. How did you find out about the show?
My husband.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Heads up, he was trying to teach you something tonight. But... He's a feminist? Yeah. Yeah, I have a surprise for you. Everything you heard tonight, when he goes to take a shit, this is what he's watching. So.
Okay, Heidi, settle down. Where's Heidi? I thought she was going to tear me new. Listen, dude. Listen. Mr. Black Dragon. The fact that you keep coming back to the show means that Danielle has a chance of coming to the show. Right? Right? Listen, how's that? The fact that you listen to the show is proof. Oh, I'll be Heidi. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dragon. Thank you. Thought that was, I was trying to think of a good comeback while the comedian was talking for you. I'm glad you appreciate it. Thank you. All right. All right. Should we go to Trump is racist? There's this one clip I want to show you guys, but I'm going to fucking go ballistic if I show you guys. I'm going to go fucking ballistic. Just fucking nuts.
I just be confused when people say Trump is a racist only because before he ran for office, I never heard nobody call him a racist. People call him an ass.
But he's saying racist stuff now.
But what's racist stuff that he's saying?
The Haitian cat stuff?
What's racist about that?
Well, saying Haitians are
prejudice.
eating cats?
Yeah, Haitians are eating
or,
cats.
Or that when he was like a landlord owning all these places, he was very discriminatory against black residents.
I'm discriminatory against black residents in certain buildings. I don't want certain living in my building.
As long as you say it with
If
the
I go
chest.
home tomorrow and I see 17 in the lobby with do-rags on, I'm talking to management like, who is these niggas? I'm from the hood. I don't want to see them in my building.
You worked hard to leave?
I worked hard to get away from these. I'm not on them. I love them, but it's like I don't want to go to sleep and hear these in my lobby either. Though. But we don't want to be honest because we feel like, oh, Trump is racist. No, he's not. A racist man is not going to let Jennifer Hudson and her family stay in his building after her family was killed. A racist man is not going to send the jet to pick up Nelson Mandela in Africa once he was freed from prison. A racist white man. Why is he doing that if he's racist? But, I just be confused when people say Trump is a racist only because before he ran for office, I never heard nobody call him a racist. People call him an ass.
But he's saying racist stuff now.
But what's racist stuff that he's saying?
The Haitian cat stuff?
That's the part that fucking trips me out. How is it racist to say that Haitians eat cats? First of all, they do eat cats, but and then since we know that they do eat cats, holy fuck. It's just crazy. It's just fucked that people think like that. Like, what did that person do in their brain that they thought that was racist? So they first had to go, he's talking about black people. How did you even fucking go there? He's not talking about black people. He's talking about fucking Haitians. And then they respond in their head without even knowing about it that he said something about black people when he never said anything about black people. So now they're just talking about themselves. It's wild. It's crazy. It's same thing with the Puerto Rican thing that you think Puerto Rico. What is that sound? Wow, what is that? What the fuck is that? It's like the Puerto Ricans. It's like, dude, you guys have a fucking huge trash problem on your island, and somehow that became some sort of racist comment. How is that racist? What did you want? The island with the coordinates in the Pacific Ocean with these coordinates has a trash problem.
Hello, you reached
But
Haley.
it just
Leave
so
a
happens that
message.
a shitload of Puerto Ricans live there. No, Roadcaster warranty time. I think I just realized it's garbage day. Maybe it was a garbage truck outside my house. It's weird how I can feel it. I can when there's shit that goes on outside, I could feel it like going on, like moving through my body. It's so weird. I'm getting old and sensitive. So sensitive to that shit. Yeah, man. If you're a woman and you are protecting, you're adamant about protecting your rights to kill a baby, you should know the cost it's coming, because your biology does not want that operating system. I'm saying it like factually. And you could be like, well, I'm fucking crazy and I'm wrong. But if you want to understand where I'm coming from, I'm saying it factually. Your biology does not want you having an operating system in it for your happiness and your sustainability and for your fucking mental acuity and for your fucking peace of mind. Your biology does not want an operating system in there that says it's okay to kill babies at all. You are not meant to. The same way you're not meant to eat fucking cotton candy, you're not meant to have an intellectual operating system that by any means justifies ever the fucking killing of babies, ever, for anything, rape, incest, all of it. I'm just telling you, that's just the fact. I'm not telling you it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that if you have any part of you that is justifying killing babies, then you're fighting against your biology. And if for any reason you're interested in fucking like men that can't provide for you because you're interested in some sort of aesthetic or something, then you're justifying something else that's other than a practical aesthetic for what a woman really wants out of a man. Then you're going against your biology and you're gonna fucking be an unhappy woman. And that's the fucking whole libtard game. I just figured the whole thing out. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm pro-choice, but it's the biggest red flag when I meet a guy who's pro-choice. Even my super lib friends say it's a red flag. Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's the ultimate form of simping, right? What does simping mean? That's the a guy who's a guy who's adamantly pro-choice. Simping is an informal internet slang term, someone who shows excessive attention or devotion to another person in an attempt to gain affection. Yeah. Imagine supporting women's rights to kill babies so that you could get pussy. It's kind of like that, I guess.
Highly against abortion, right? But I don't know if the government should be like the one, like, because I'm very libertarian. Which is, I don't like, unless in specific circumstance, political action being taken against me.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So I was conceived in rape. My birth mother went to 2 illegal abortions, backed out because of the law, because it was illegal and the back alley conditions. And so the law literally saved my life prior to Roe v. Wade, 4 years before Roe v. Wade. And so my question for you is, did I deserve the protection that I received?
Yeah, yes. Like, I don't want to, like, that's a conundrum, man.
That's a conundrum?
I'm wrong, yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that.
I'm wrong. I'm highly against abortion, right?
Damn.
But
damn. I don't think you should use that word incel. I don't even want to look it up and know what it means. I just don't like it. Pat Lang, no one would ever know or care about this woman if she had been murdered in her mommy's tummy. Fair enough. All right, can't argue that. Can't argue that. I don't know, maybe the Christians think that the baby would have gone to heaven and it'd be waiting there for her to talk to her. Yeah, the killing babies thing is... You guys want to do something crazy? Oh, I should save it. It's a defund the police thing. It's fucking driving me crazy. I watched this whole thing yesterday. It's fucking nuts. I'm sure you guys have seen the video by now. It's absolutely wild. All right, here we go.
911. We received a 911 call into our communication center.
The person calling in was a female, and she ordered a pizza. Our communications folks asked her if she realized she had called 911, and she said yes.
Yes, I'm sure I'm calling to that number. Trying to get a pizza.
What address are we going to?
Okay, got my location, please.
You don't know your location.
No, basically no. I'm stuck in here. It won't take me back home.
Our communications folks were able to triangulate her phone because she couldn't give us the address what she was because she was in a field in Pearson.
I'm trying to, trying to get pizza, pepperoni extra cheese.
Okay. How many people are there? Tell me.
Just me and him.
Do you have any weapons?
No.
She was able to tell us that she was being held by one person and that he was not armed. Using those coordinates, deputies were dispatched. Now think of Pearson, all of those acres and acres and acres of ferneries.
You know his name?
I don't know say it because
That's okay. What's your name?
I would like to order extra cheese pizza.
Okay. Are you hurt? Just stand on line with me, okay? I'm gonna get help out there to you. All right.
Deputies got out on foot and began to search those ferneries. Eventually, they heard loud music coming from a field. When they approached the sound, they discovered a male on top of a screaming female.
Hey,
You're trying to rape me. Can you help
get off her now.
Help me.
Get off her now.
Give us the channel. Thank God. Thank God.
Don't you get move. Don't you get move.
Come here, dude. Come here. You're good. 21 says to clear the channel. Come here. We're good. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're here.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
We got a male secure.
He took a baby.
Copy a Florida tag, please.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
And when you watch the video, if you're a father, if you're a grandfather, if you're a brother, and you hear those screams coming from our victim, it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Okay, we're here now. Okay, hey, we're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. Just catch your breath. He's got him. He's got him. He's got him.
The victim in this case said she had known her assailant, that they had gone into the fernery to drink a couple drinks, alcoholic beverages, and that's all it was supposed to be. However, during this outing, he did a line of cocaine, and she said he did a 180, and he became extremely violent and wouldn't let her go and tried to rape her. The video, again, speaks for itself. The suspect in this case is Luis Hernandez Mañeo, 27-year-old male who's in this country illegally, who the day before the incident applied for asylum. He's now sitting in our jail with 3 felony counts against him, and the Border Patrol has lodged a detainer against him. I am so proud, number one, of our victim for having the wherewithal and keep her wits as they're able to get that information to our communications folks for being able to decipher what was going on.
Thank you to all the police officers out there working hard. Fuck all you people who think defund the police. Fuck all of you people who think that there's not a place for grace and acceptance, that the police departments aren't going to be perfect. You are out of your fucking mind. All the officers out there, thank you so much. See you guys later. Bye-bye.